Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Build Computers. We're looking at the Palit G panel today. So this is a little side display that comes with some of the new Palit graphics cards, or you can buy it separately on its own, as this one is. So what this thing is it's a little status display for your graphics card. It works with all GeForce graphics cards, doesn't have to be a Palit card. And this here is a graphical LCD that will give you various technical information on your graphics card, such as temperatures, clock speeds, voltages, stuff like that. So if we have a look along the whole device, we've got the graphical LCD here, we've got this display button, which is a single clicky button, and then we've got a pair of USB 3 ports. We've got a C port and an A port, and on the back we've got USB 3 input, we've got a DC input which you can connect a standard USB charger to, and then we've got a serial ATA power connector as well. So what happens, this thing can either sit externally on your desk, it's got a pair of feet on the bottom that just fold out like so, like that, with a bit of a click, and then it can just sit like that on your desk. Or it has the mounting holes on the side to mount it internally in a 5 1/4 inch bay in your case. So this can go inside the computer or outside the computer. When it's mounted internally, you can get all of its power from that SATA power connector. And when it's mounted externally, you can connect a USB charger up to it, and that will power it entirely from there. Now, for just the display on its own to work, you don't need the external power, you just need the USB 3 data cable. However, if you want those USB 3 ports to be powered and charge devices, you're going to need an actual power supply connected to it. And after that, it'll be able to charge your phone and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So this thing is a really handy little desktop gadget to power all of your devices from and charge your stuff from. So I really like the idea of this. Let's plug it in and see what it does. Okay, so connected up to the computer and powered on, this is the default output we get on it. So it will just show you the system clock, which automatically syncs. This thing can be driven from either the Palit Thunder Force software, which is used for overclocking the Palit graphics cards, or any graphics card for that matter, or they have a little standalone utility. It's like 1 meg in size, runs in the system tray, and that just grabs all the data it needs from the NVIDIA drivers. So the software package is very low profile, which is very nice. And we can adjust what appears on the display from the software, or we can achieve the same effect by pushing the display button like this. So we can go from the clock, then we can go to the BIOS information for the graphics card, so it tells us what we're running here, what its current BIOS setting is, and so on. Then we can press it again, and it will switch to the GPU clock, memory clock, voltage, fan speeds, and temperatures. Then it cycles to a quick readout for current usage. So this is a particularly useful one to have in front of you while you're playing games and stuff like that, just to see what it's up to. And then it cycles back round to the clock again. So all in all, it's a really simple device. It's very easy to use, very simple to set up. So I really like it. I really love the presentation of it. My only criticism so far is that once I'd finished testing it before I started recording this, I was like, oh, is that it? Now, for a bit of background, in my earlier days of modding, I used to mess about with having alphanumeric LCDs on my computers, and these things were expensive and complicated to set up, but they could display basically whatever you wanted without limits. However, with this one, we're limited to just those 4 displays. That's all it'll show, nothing else. You can't customize the layout, you can't customize what information is there, you can't even create a custom screen with the information that it already has, which I think is a bit of a shortfall, because, for example, there is certain information which I don't need to know at any given time, and also, like, on every one of these screens, we've lost about 1/4 of the screen to just having the Palit logo there on every single screen, where we could just ditch that Palit logo, shorten this down, and we could have all of this information we've got here and all of this information on a single screen with a little bit of clever layout. So it doesn't use the screen space very effectively, and it can't be customized. It's also a bit of a shame that we've got just this sort of pale orangey yellow backlight color, whereas, you know, it's obvious that these days with LCDs, they could have made this any color they wanted. And it seems like a bit of a missed opportunity that they didn't make it either A, RGB backlit, or B, just a white backlight so it suits anything. The sort of yellow-orange backlight colour is a bit sort of meh. It doesn't suit anything. You know, no one uses that colour in their computer. So a bit of a shame that the colours aren't more customizable, or you know, there's no other options available. And it's a bit of a shame that there's no options to customize the screens themselves. So this device, as I mentioned, does come with some of the graphics cards as an optional extra, or failing that, you can buy it on its own for about £25 at the moment. And for that price, despite its shortcomings, I think it's a fantastic little device. And if you're the kind of person who wants extra gadgets on your desktop, extra lights and screens and that kind of thing, I think it's a really great little extra. And also, for having those USB ports immediately accessible on the desktop, I think this is a really great thing to have sitting under your screen. In this particular example, we're going to be mounting it inside the tower, but personally, I think this would look great on any desk. So yeah, I like it. I'd definitely recommend it for someone who's looking for a little gadget just to spice up their desk a little bit. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.